Long day lay low. Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome another shill stream. My shill streams, and I always boomer them. I like to bring people in and after I talk, but whatever. With me is Brian, right? Brian, you got Brian. I
Ben.
got you. Yeah. Dude, you never know. Because I always call people by their the Twitter handle or YouTube handles. So I always call people like your Outlaw Nights. Like that's your name. So it's Brian.
Yeah,
right?
you know.
Like everybody calls me Unhinged. Everybody, even though everyone literally knows my name, people still call me Unhinged, and I'm cool with it. But so want to welcome everybody. We're gonna be talking about some Outlaw Nights today. We're gonna be talking to Brian and seeing what drives him and what made him want to do the things we do. We got a few people in the chat. We know we were just talking backstage, and we know we got Ethan streaming now. We got Cat of Grace still streaming. So that's me. I pinned your thing in the chat. So yeah, we got Genuine Comics. What's going on? Welcome. Be sure to share this out if you're watching still. And we got 80s Made. Yo, what's going on, 80s? 80s is a good dude. Have you been on with 80s yet?
I haven't actually.
Yeah, hit him up, man. He's they do a fun little Monday night stream where they watch a movie, like kind of like a themed movie based around what your project is or something like that. And then they talk about your book and like they have a good time, and they're a little out there. They're a little off the walls at times, but they're fun, man. They have a good time, and it's a good channel. And we actually did very well with Frog G over there. So yeah, hit up 80s man. DM him, see if he'll have you on.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So what got you started, man? What Outlaw Nights? This is the second one, yes?
Yep.
Now, so what started the first one then? Like what started that the part of this whole thing that you got going on?
Oh God. This story has been I've been playing around with it in my mind for somewhere around like 10 years. Maybe even a little bit longer at this point. I can't keep track of time. But yeah, like I had come up with it after I had seen the movie Pirates of the Caribbean for the first time.
Okay.
And I just started playing around with the idea of like, how do I want to make a pirate story, but I don't want it to be, stuck in the 1600s type of deal. I wanted to make it more fun and more dynamic. And so I just kind of I had tossed it around, and it was always going to be something I was going to work on like later in my life, where I was going to make it a movie originally. And I was thinking to myself like, oh yeah, like one day when I get famous and when I get all this money, I'll be able to put this out. And as I got older, I started getting more realistic, and I'm like, well, like the odds of that happening are very, very slim.
Very slim, man. Yeah, and even no, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just saying that when I first caught wind of what was going on with CG and indie comics in general, I just decided after a while, I'm like, well, I'm a writer, so I want to write a comic that I could crowdfund. I think that'd be fun. And then when I was like thinking about, oh, what should I do as a comic? And then I was like, wait a minute, like I've got an idea already. Like I can use that idea. And so I converted it into a comic script, and it seems to work out even better as a comic, in my opinion. So
and that's the beauty of and that's the beauty about comics too, is like your budget is limitless. I mean, as far as like what's in the comic itself, like you obviously got to print it and stuff. I'm talking about that. I'm talking about like your special effects and like where you can go and take it. Like there's no budget. You can write and do whatever you want and have total free reign. Whereas with a movie, I mean, yeah, nowadays with like CGI and stuff like that, but there's still that huge disconnect that everybody knows, like, oh, this is just a big green screen, but with a comic, like, it's a drawing because it's a drawing, but you're still having fun, and it like moves in your head. So
Oh yeah.
It's a different form of escapism, but it's also translatable like movies to comics because, like you said, the script worked well going into a comic format. They're really not written all too different. They're a little different, but they're written like the format is still almost the same. Like you got scene one, scene two. You know, you got exterior house. You know, or you tell the artist draw a house. Like so, the format is still there. It's just rewording a little bit here and there. You know what I mean? So it's really not all that vastly different. If you already have like a script or something like that, or an idea in your head and it's already like scripted out, you can kind of plug it in a little bit, reword some things, and then give it to your artist. So yeah, I mean, yeah. And honestly, man, I thought this was more inspired by Westerns when I looked at it. So that's kind of interesting that it was inspired by pirates. I like that.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. But, there's definitely Western elements to it because I love that aesthetic.
Yeah. Yeah, well, so you said it first steamed out from after you saw Pirates, the first one. Like this kind of popped in your head. Like, I mean, like, so you started. You start like outlining it, or did you like just like maybe like, oh, I got an idea that would be a cool character, and you kind of built your world and story around the character. Like, what kind of came first, the chicken or the egg? You know?
Um, it was mostly, I think it was it was one character in particular that I didn't even really write it down. I was just kind of imagining about it, just kind of playing with it. And then he ended up becoming, he's not one of the main characters. Well, he kind of is. But he's more secondary, I would say.
Mm.
As time went on, it focused more on my main character, who's kind of your Jim Hawking kind of character, Cyrus.
Mm-hmm.
He, because he's not a pirate in the beginning, but he has been, kind of shanghaied into this world, and so he's got to learn how to survive. And at the same time, he's got kind of a bad opinion of piracy, if you will. And he gets foiled very much with the captain of the ship, known as Ivory. And over time, I came up with Ivory, I think, last. And Ivory ended up becoming my favorite character.
Isn't that the way it works sometimes, man? Like, yeah, I mean, I can only honker back to like in a relatability, like with Absolute. Like, I had my main characters, and then As Samurai Priest came about by accident, but he ended up being like a fan favorite and one of my favorites. So it's just like it's weird how that happens. How like one of the characters you either create last or almost accidentally or whatever, they happen to be like the one that you're like, yeah, like you kind of connect with the most. It's kind of odd how things work out. Yeah. So you really fleshed it out mainly around these characters, and so is it an entire world building experience you were thinking of, or like a universe, or are you like mainly focusing on like a sect of characters and like their travels and like that's it?
I would say a little bit of both. It's sort of like I have an idea of the structure of what's going on in this point. Like, this is the 31st century, and in many ways it's history repeating itself in a lot of ways, where it's, Earth has begun colonizing into outer space, and as a result of that, like there's like a new spirit of nationalism where like the nations of Earth are all competing for territory and resources, and it's chaotic. And like we're about 10 years out from World War III, the end of it. And so, tensions are still really high. You got alliances all kind of against each other. And yeah, like the big structure of it was mostly that, the Earth itself functions as sort of the hub of where government comes from. And as you expand outward into the colonies, like there's, some colonies that are more loyal to their native countries. There's some that are vying for independence. There's some that are just kind of in turmoil. some that are uh, rebelling. You know, it's the idea is that it's a big old mix, and
Right.
we would explore more colonies as the story goes along. But you know, it's very much a pirate story in that they're looking for a specific treasure that everybody's got their eyes on, and it's turns into a big old rat race.
Nice. I like that movie too, by the way, Rat Race. The but anyway, it's a sidetrack story. But I mean, the remake one. I don't think I ever saw the original, but yeah, Rat Race was pretty funny. But yeah, so I mean, obviously, it takes place in space and stuff like that. So you're first influenced by you saw the Pirates, but did like you want to do space because like you love Star Wars and Star Trek because it has that vibe. So, like, was that part of it, or was it just is it just accidental?
Um, it was more functional for me. It was more that I just thought like when you're dealing with like pirates and stuff, like you know, it's fun to do it in the 1600s and all, like because there's still territories that are uncharted and everything. But it's like when you're doing a modern story, it's like nothing, like everything on Earth has been pretty much mapped out. Like there's
Mm,
no real mystery to it. And so it's like, what's the next step? If you're doing it in the future, going through space, that's like it's like an ocean that you're never gonna be able to chart all of because it's so
true.
effing vast.
Well, yeah, it's infinite, so
Yeah,
it's
like
pretty vast. Yeah, yeah, cool, man. So like, what are some of your favorite like writers and like because you said you're mainly movie influenced, like as far as writing, right?
oh yeah.
Yeah. So like what sparked your inspiration or your wanting to write movies and get into like stuff like that? What was like how did that get developed? Because I could pinpoint where I first saw something. I'm like, I want to be a comic artist. Like what made you want to kick into like being like, I want to write movies, I want to write books, I want to write whatever, I want to write.
That's hard. I know like I wanted to be involved in film from the time I was like 12 years old. Like I was just playing around with a camera and I just found that I just enjoyed doing narrative stories like almost naturally.
It's a cool number.
But the writing aspect mostly came into play in late high school, early college.
Okay.
Just cuz I found that like it was something that I was thinking about for a little bit and I just kind of thought like, well, I don't know if I'm that good of a writer or whatever. And then when I got to college, like a teacher I had really encouraged me. She told me that I had really good talent when it came to writing and I just started playing with it more and I started enjoying it more and it got to the point where it's the part that I really enjoy the most
Hmm.
in any medium I've done. It's like writing it out is my favorite part now.
Have you ever thought of going into like novels as well, or is it like
I
you just mainly
have
you have?
um I originally was gonna write this story as a novel and I got like 20 pages in and I was losing my mind. I
Why
couldn't.
was that? What happened? Like what
It's
detoured it?
just the level of detail I think that gets to me. I like how in a script you cut everything's very plain and bare bones. It's like you tell people what they're saying at any particular time, and it's mostly dialogue that you deal with like the most. With like a novel, it's like you've got to describe every little thing in order to set the scene, and I've never been great with that level of detail.
Right. Yeah. So you stick to what your strengths. Yeah. Yeah. So you're heavy into the dialogue. You like to do more of like character studies and get into the depths of the stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. So what was your introduction then into comics gate like comics? Like I know you said you saw what was happening, but like what drew your eye over to it?
Um, I think it was originally just stuff like EVS. I really enjoyed. I like, he was introducing all of us to, well, like, for one thing, his work was really good, but then he was showing like a bunch of artists, like guys like oh God, what was his name? I
Do you know what book
forgot.
he was on?
I was thinking like of like Battle Maiden, and Uncle Bomb.
Oh yeah. RG Raging Golden Eagle. Yeah, he wrote that one. I think, right? RGE wrote Battle in Atomic Bomb.
No, he did Blade Devil.
Blade Devil, that's it. I know it was a manga. But yeah, I know what you're
But
talking about though, with Battle Metal Nuka Bob. Yeah.
yeah, and like, yeah, I actually got Blade Devil Ghost of the Past, and I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, dude, RGE's
Um,
good dude.
and yeah, like, and I just started seeing a bunch of these books, and I thought, like, I thought it was a great medium in terms of like, I was most impressed by the idea of like all of this being a grassroots thing. How it's like this is up and comers being funded directly from the people who are going to read your book. Like, your readers, you have a direct line to them, so they can
Hmm.
tell you whatever worked or whatever didn't work about what you're doing. Like, all of it just really appealed to me, and because in a lot of ways I'm very libertarian minded, so I love the whole power to the people.
Yeah,
So
I mean, well, it is. It's an underground independent. At least it still is. Almost. I know you got heavy hitters, but it's still an underground independent wave where the fans are the catalyst. They're the heartbeat. So it's that communication is to be like the fans are like, hey, we don't like it, but we're gonna let you know, or we love it, and we're gonna let you know directly. Like, yeah, that's great, dude. And I think that's really a strength of what we have over here is the fact that we can interact and do interact with everyone. And like you said, if they'll let us know, like and it's kind of interesting and different. Like back when we were kids, like it's not like you could hit up Kurt Vonnegut and be like, yo, dude. Can you do this instead of that? You know what I mean? Like it's like it was different. Like you could write a letter, but you're never going to get a response. But as of nowadays,
yep.
though, like you could directly just, hey, dude, and usually they end up responding, and it's pretty cool. So yes, that's so you never really like were interested in comics before like any of this, like you never like picked up a Thor, like you weren't into that like genre. You were more into like the films. Like
I
did you glance at them when you were like in? I mean, in
Yeah,
like
I was a
supermarkets as a kid.
I was a casual fan.
Mm,
Um, I liked some comics when I was a kid, but I was mostly into like slice of life comics. I didn't really get into superhero stuff initially.
right.
Like, I would read about superheroes in those big old scholastic compendiums,
Okay.
but I didn't read the actual issues of superhero comics.
Right. Nice. All
But
right. Sometimes.
when I ended up turning about 21, 22, at the job I had at the time, a buddy of mine who was working there was really into to Marvel and DC, and he started bringing his books to work. So whenever we would have like a lull, I would just kind of start reading some of them. And so I started to get into them kind of late in the game.
Yeah.
Um,
That's nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
and I enjoyed the mythology behind a lot of the characters. Although, what was it? I think, let's see, it was, yeah, I was reading one of the Avengers books, and that was when I started to notice a little bit of a political thing starting to happen.
Mm-hmm.
It was subtle at the time. It was like one little dialogue balloon, but I'm thinking like, oh God, really? Like, in a superhero book, really? And
Yeah.
so like, I wasn't super shocked when I started hearing that, oh God, comics have become just so political. I'm like, oh God, well, I kind
Yeah.
of started to see it happening.
They did slowly like do it at first, kind of slowly, and then they did hit you over the head with a hammer eventually. And the thing is, like, there are political. Here's the thing, like people, I always say, like, you know, there are comics and politics shouldn't be there, but there are comics that have political themes, like Captain America. Like it's a political
Yeah.
type character, but not. You know what I mean? It's still a superhero. He just has his viewpoint. Where you're injecting your own politics into it and changing things up and then forcing it down people's throats. That's where we have an issue with it. You know, it's
And I
like
think
honestly. Okay.
oh, I'm sorry. No, I
No,
was
no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that yeah, and I think a lot of it just boiled down to the fact that like even though political issues were brought up in older comics, they weren't done in a way that was meant to be divisive.
Mm-hmm.
It was sort of like it was meant to shine a light on different perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like nowadays it's well no, like if you this one side is good and that other side is evil and you have to think that, you know, and it's like back in the day it wasn't like that. It was like no, we're all in the same country, we just have different perspectives.
Well, and not only like this, the one side is good, the one side is evil. It's like they're doing that with like people within our own like nation and friends and families. Like, oh, your family is now your enemies and stuff. Back like way back, Jack Kirby. Like the Nazis were evil. Captain America was good. He fought the Nazis. Like that was it
Yeah.
because Nazis are bad. Like it's not like, oh, I don't know, I'm confused now. It's like just because he, you know, like somebody has a different political or religious mindset, they're evil now. It's like, no, that's not how it works. It's like you can be Christian, I could be Catholic, and you know we can still get along, you know, or whatever, or I atheist
Yep.
or whatever. Like it doesn't matter. That doesn't mean evil or bad, but your actions do. So you know, so yeah, it's they're telling you what to think. No one likes that, you know, like instead of a suggestion or hey, you know, this person does have this idea of how they view policy stuff, but it's not their focal character point. Dude, I never knew what Spider-Man's leaning was. I didn't care. I was a kid, you know. So, and that's what it harkens back to. Like every time I think about or I watch these things and I think about them, I'm like, man, when I was a kid, I was more interested in like, was Spider-Man going to beat Doc Ock or was Thor going to stop Juggernaut? You know, like, yeah, there's those like, oh, you know, Thor's got Jane Foster or whatever, or you know, Spider-Man has Mary Jane. Like there are those slightly adult themes because they're for all ages, but they weren't so in depth with like it wasn't until you got to like Watchmen and stuff where they kind of got a little more political, but even then you kind of understood it, but it still wasn't vastly infused. You know what I mean? It was more of a hey, here's this subject matter. You know, whether you like it, cool. You know, whatever. But it wasn't. He wasn't injecting all that into like Superman is now. You know, like they even had the what ifs, like Superman, like what he was like was discovered by the Soviets or something, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
Like in Elseworld stories. But that's a what if type concept. Like it's not like they changed Superman forever. It was like, what if that happened? Like so. That's the way it should be as a what if thing, maybe. But yeah, so and like you said, they slowly did it though. That one word balloon in that Avengers book, you saw it and you're like, oh, really? But then you kept reading, like, oh, okay, cool. And then slowly and slowly you start infusing, and that doesn't belong, man. It's not. And if you're gonna do it, yeah, fine, but make your own new stuff. Try to branch out. There's people that do like it, and fine, whatever. But you know, don't change what we got going. You know what we love. Don't change the fan base. But yeah,
Absolutely,
so
because like I always thought that superheroes sort of represented something that was above politics.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
because they're
yeah,
supposed to be good, like the examples
yeah,
of good and do good things. Even anti-heroes, like the Punisher, is like it's extreme justice. Like like nobody should like be judge, jury, and executioner, but he still was a good guy though, because he didn't hurt children, you know, he innocent people, he didn't bother with, like he didn't do all that stuff. If you were bad though, look out. Like it was still a bad people that he hurt. Like it wasn't like, oh, I don't know where to draw the line here. I was like, no, but that's where like a political thing maybe comes into play where like, but he's playing judge, jury, and executioner all at once. That's the wrong way to go about it. That's a political like idea, but it's something people can discuss and still be friendly about though. Like that's a topic.
yeah.
It's not like, oh, he's now his skull is now represented by these groups of people, so he's now evil. It's like it doesn't make any sense. And dude, them changing that skull is the stupidest thing ever. But yeah, it's dumb, man. And yeah, but so you created this though. You're like you said, you were watching a fun movie about escapism, and you're like, oh man, I got this kind of cool idea that would be dope, and you started making your own cool idea. That's escapism. So,
Yep.
and that's the way it should be, you know. Like I said, there are places for those other books, but put them in the right areas. You know what I mean? Like there's different topics.
Mhm.
Like you said, you looked at slice of life type stuff growing up. So that's like not everybody bought those. You did. It appealed to you. You looked at those. So there's a thing for everybody everywhere. It's just cater to the fan base though, is what you should be doing. And that's what we're doing. We're
Yeah.
catering to the fan base. Like the fans are there and they're telling us what they want. So pardon me while I sip my coffee. So yeah. Yeah, dude. So you said there is like because I mainly saw this and I thought westerns. I'm like I kept thinking like Tombstone and Unforgiven or something like that because I saw the guns and the guys smoking cigars and I was thinking Wild West type space adventure. And I like that too. I think that's a cool concept. That also made me think of like Han Solo and stuff. So, but see, that's what I like about this book too. Like it does trigger the nostalgia that oh that's cool because I remember I like those things. I'll like this probably. And so, it's a good reason why people should back it. So yeah. And by the way, everyone, a link for the book is pinned in the chat as well as in the description below. So go ahead and click it, check it out. Pardon me. So yeah, so is this like your first go? Like I know book 1 it was out. Book 2 is this because I see it has 30 something days. So is this your first go at it or did you like try it before?
This is my first go at issue 2.
Okay.
Um, it's not looking good for us this time around, but I think I just chose a really bad time to launch.
Dude, almost it's a rough dude. It's so rough now launching. Like it really is, especially like right now with Christmas time coming. Like that's I mean you've already been here for a month though. So but you have that time, but also you got recession, people are really penny pinching. Like even me, dude, I backed what was it when I started backing books? I was backing like crazy. I'm over 200 books, but I would say this year alone, I maybe only backed like 4 or 5 titles so far. Like I really have been
Hmm.
very, very, very held back on what it just like we're money's tight. You know what I mean? So like, and this is a
Yeah.
quality looking book, man. I looked it over. I like the artwork's tight. I like the idea. It's fun, So it's nothing against the book, but and also you got all these like you said, like you launched a month ago, like you had everyone launching a month ago. You know what I mean? Like everybody launched
Yes.
all at the same time, man. It was like even we saw it whenever Ink Spots and I launched. We saw like what Shane is launching, Irene is launching, Aaron Lepresti's launching. It's like uh, uh, Andy Smith was launching. I'm like really all in 1 month. So yeah, it was rough, dude. And dude, if you had launched maybe a month before that, you might have been in the sweet spots. Like nobody launched.
Damn.
What was that? August. Like nobody launched. It was like a dead
Oh
month.
man.
Yeah. So and then we didn't. We were like, man, we should have launched them too. But I mean, like I said, I just think mainly that's what it is. Is like it's a money thing. Like Christmas is coming up, and with the recession, people really just like, oh, I gotta like gas is like $40 a gallon. So it's like, do I get gasoline and pay for groceries, or do I like even go see a movie? Like because even box office sales are taking a hit.
Well, I don't mind that.
Well, I know, but it's just that like I'm just saying, like as far as extracurricular activities and what we spend our money on,
Oh
it's
yeah,
taking
I
a hit.
know. I was just
Yeah.
no, my thing is like as much as I love film, I absolutely hate what's been going on with modern Hollywood.
Oh, it's so bad.
So I'm just
It's
kind of like whenever they take a hit, I get kind of devilish delight from
What
that,
would you say was like the last new good movie you saw? Like, now I'm not saying like
Uh
Marvel or anything. I'm saying all together completely.
did you ever hear that movie Free Guy?
Yeah, I saw Free Guy.
That was probably the last one.
I liked it. I thought it was pretty fun. It was a fun
And
movie. Yeah.
even though there were like a couple of moments in there where I was like, because they were starting to reference little
Yeah.
political things. At the same time, like it was very small and insignificant part of it, and it was just like whatever. And like yeah, like the overall concept was fun and it was unique. It was yeah, like I enjoyed it. I
What's
think
he
it says
saying?
Willy's Wonderland.
Oh, Willy's Wonderland. Okay. Yeah, I liked Free Guy. Free Guy was good. I like Nobody. I really talk about Nobody quite a lot. I like Nobody.
I don't
Um,
think I've heard of that one.
oh, it's good, dude. It's got Bob Odenkirk in it. It's kind of like John Wick in a
Oh,
way, but not. Like I mean, like he's a CIA guy, retired, has a family. Then somebody breaks into his house. He thought that they stole his daughter's bracelet, so he goes and gets after him, and then it just events happen after. Like, and it's just a fun movie, dude. It's just a fun movie. Like, there's no agendas in it whatsoever. Completely fun. Wrath of Man was good. I like that one. But those were released a long time ago, dude. Those were released like maybe I would say maybe well not a long time, but like 2 years ago, a year ago or so. Yeah. So I
yeah.
mean, but that those like two, I could think of two that that were like solid movies I really liked. That was like I want to own these, just because everything's just been getting worse and worse. Like it's just been getting worse and worse. It's crazy. It's like you would think they would see the money depleting from what they're doing, and like the in the box office sales they're depleting. They're like, oh, we're gonna keep doing it though. Where's that logic? You know, the formulas are there. Like even like just a new idea or whatever, it's all right there. Look at what we're doing here. You can
Well,
easily make a new product and a new idea.
they all think that they're fighting for a cause, unfortunately.
Yeah, a dying one. What's up, ACC? Like yeah, things can get worse before they get. But I think like given a few years, like we're slowly starting to creep out of the like people are getting fed up. Like, and they're getting sick of the messaging and everything. Like they just want to have fun, man. They just want to get away from all the because especially since everything's going to crap anyway. Like economy wise, nobody wants to go see a movie and then be like, wow, things are going to crap in the movie too. Well, there's no escape. Can't get away.
And I would say even aside from the stupid messaging, it's also that like the writers that they're hiring these days, they don't put in the work for like, the particular like the details. Like I think one of the things people complain about with like modern Marvel movies and stuff is the fact that the writers don't really pay attention to what came before.
Mm.
They don't really pay attention to like what their own storyline threads, like where they go. It's like they just kind of it's like whatever they think is fun or funny or whatever, they just kind of throw it all out there, and it
Yeah,
doesn't have to make sense as
dude.
long
Like
as they think it's cute.
and you're right. You're totally right.
Like,
Like I recently just last night, I watched the Avengers, the first Avengers movie again. I'm like, man, this movie's really good. You got serious elements in here. You got espionage. You got great dialogue. Like there's the jokes here and there, but they're like they're not like tongue like, oh, I really like this girl or something stupid like that. It's more like Captain America beat up a bunch of like army like aliens, and then the cops start listening to him like, we need you here. Like that's kind of funny.
mhm.
It's like, oh, they're like, who are you to tell us what to do? And he shows them who he is to tell them what to do, so they do what he says. It's humorous without them. Like the only person that's funny in it is Tony Stark, but that's
Yep.
because that's his character though. So
Yep.
the dialogue's great. Like the there's chemistry with the actors. It's just it was a good movie. And then you look at the like anything that, and this is Marvel, obviously we're talking about because it's the juggernaut right now. And I kind of wish like there's movies that would come out and I would hear about the like I heard Everything Everywhere All at Once was okay. I haven't seen that yet, but I just wish there was movies that would come out that aren't like in this umbrella of like the big companies that were like good,
Yeah.
like that people would talk about. And it's just so hard to find or hear about because I mean, in pop culture, like we watch YouTube or we go on Twitter and we talk to our friends, and we have to hope that they like a movie that's actually really good. And it's just like they don't even find any. So yeah, but like even from back then, like I said, that Avengers movie, solid. And then if you look at anything they have now, you don't even want to watch. For one, dude, that Avengers movie, first one, 2 hours long. Like, and that's a huge ensemble movie. Now, nowadays, you got regular movies that are 3 hours that are boring. There's all these agendas in them. They try to put there's a joke every 20 seconds, which totally derails any kind of like care that you feel about. It's terrible. You're like, I don't want to sit through 3 hours, man. I could do literally anything else for 3 hours and have more fun. Yeah. So
it's that they got so formulaic with it.
Yeah.
They just decided it's like, okay, this is our system. We need jokes every so often, have to be at these specific intervals. And it's like they can't stick to a serious tone for more than a few minutes.
And that's what's lost in a lot of this stuff is those serious undertones. Like one of my favorite scenes in that Avengers movie is Loki and Black Widow. That interaction, that little him just taunting her and grilling her, and then her spinning it and just being, because it's a total serious part and it's great. And that's lost in all these superhero movies. And DC, I guess, is trying to redo stuff. I don't even know. We'll see what happens. But with Marvel and Disney, man, they're gone. Even the remakes, I have yet to watch a Disney animated remake. I haven't watched one.
Oh, me neither.
None of them. The originals are already really good, and why even bother remaking it? And then what was it? A couple of nights ago, I watched Sin City again. I'm like, man, this movie's good. Because you know why Sin City was so good though? They kept to I followed it one time when I was younger. First time TV, I followed Sin City by the book. I looked at the panels and the word for word, panel for panel, shot for shot, almost identical in every which way possible. That's what made it so good, because it was already a good product. They just duplicated it. And now I'm not saying they need to do that for everything. I understand changing some things up, making new stories. That's fine. I get that. You don't want to, everybody's like, oh, I could just read the comic, or I know the comic reader knows what's going to happen. And I understand it. But you have, like this one right here, you already have the storyboards laid out. You know what I mean? The dialogue's already there. All you have to do is then just start putting some actors in and having them talk. It's already there. It's an untapped source, Like I said, I can understand changing some things because it's in comics. You can make a 68-page comic or 400-page comic, whatever you want to do. They can't translate 400 pages to a movie. That's 4 hours. So,
yeah.
Granted, Gone with the Wind maybe, but this isn't Gone with the Wind. But Gone with the Wind isn't Gone with the Wind anymore. But but yeah,
can't wait till they remake that.
Oh, yeah, dude. They already took out, I think, a lot of things and stuff like that. So, Hockey, I did send you the link, but to help come with the chat, but that's okay, dude. I thought he said he could join. All right, let me let's go over the campaign, man. Sharing my screen. There we go. Let me. I'm gonna play the trailer. I do it differently. I do it as an overlay. That way, there's no skipping, stuff like that. So we're gonna watch this trailer, everybody. So here, enjoy. Sit back, get some popcorn, or not. Where is it? Why isn't it playing? Oh, I know why. I'm in the wrong thing. See, I'm so good at this, man. All right, now get your popcorn. Nice. Who did the trailer for you?
That was done by Verse Films, which is run by the team that did Skits.
Oh, nice, nice. I like
Yeah.
Skits. Yeah, it's a good comic too. Good guys. I like both those guys. Great artists.
Oh
Very
yeah.
yeah, good stuff. So now once again, I rely on my guests for some stuff here because my eyes are trash. Where are you, Piper? Hockey, you didn't want to come in. How dare you? So you're at what 700, around 800 almost, right? So of
Just
what's your
about.
goal? What's your goal?
My goal is 6,500.
Okay. Well, I mean, is that's probably because of paying the artists and
Yeah.
letterers and stuff, right, and everything like that, and get the books printed. So you need to hit that goal in order to really make the book happen. Is that what it is?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. See, and once again, that's why we crowdfund these things, though. I mean, to raise that money up. So, and I mean, you still got another month. If you hit the grindstone, man, and try to get on more and more. Obviously, I know you are. You hit me up, which is an act of desperation. But but no, yeah. Obviously, man. Like I said, hit up 80s, hit up Wise Guys, hit up Bancroft, which you probably already been on. Shay inside with Red Valkyrie, Irene. Hit up as many people as you possibly can, and grill it. And you can still do it. Like it's not unreasonable to get 6K in a month. It's not. It's hard, really hard, but it's not impossible. You know what I mean? So, yeah. And if it doesn't, you could always just like revamp it, maybe, or even ask people what was it, you didn't like or something like that about the campaign itself. And maybe people give you some feedback. You could update the campaign and then maybe relaunch it in a couple months, maybe like February or March, or maybe
Yeah.
even sooner if you want. That way you can, honestly, launching around sometime after, like during or after income tax is good because people have that extra spending cash. So, they have
Oh
that
yeah.
they have that return. So, yeah. But I'm always of the mindset too of launch as soon as you can, launch now. Like that's you have the book, launch it. I kind of get where you're coming from. Like you had it ready and it's set to go, put it up. Pardon me, let's get it out there. You know what I mean? Yeah. So dope, man. I'm liking it. Yeah, people, go check it out. I mean, like I said, link is in the description below as well as pinned into the chat. So, who's your artist? Who do you have here? I like this stuff.
Well, the cover art was done by Jason Krager.
Ooh, I like Krager.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, nice.
I've
That's
I've
really good.
like I asked him to do like a couple of pieces just to kind of like, and it was like I was going to choose a cover based on those, and I chose that one in particular because I felt like Wellington, who's the villain of this issue, he's got that psychotic look on his face
Yeah,
that it just works so perfectly.
yeah, I do like this cover, man. It's really nice. It's striking. I like how it covers up the Knights part. Like you don't even like it's not like Spider-Man. People might be worried, but like you can still tell it says Outlaw Knights. You know what I mean? Like it's not like what is the word behind him. So like what it's gonna say. You know what I mean? I like that he's covered. I like it whenever characters cover logos like that. It makes the cover like pop out a little bit. I like it. Yeah, that's really nice, man. Uh, yeah. So and then this is Cyrus.
No, that's Wellington
That's
again.
Wellington. Okay. I like.
He's a pirate hunter who works for the British military, and as you can see, a lot of him has been replaced by machinery.
And this is I want to say maybe like what 14 and up type book. Like it's not all ages, but a little slight maturity
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah. There's some strong language,
Okay.
and
Okay.
this issue in particular, there's gonna be some gory violence.
Ooh, like that. Like that. See, here's my thing though, man. Like, man, when I was younger, I was collecting Spawn. You know what I mean? It's like, man, kids are so desensitized these days. They need to be more desensitized, maybe. I don't know. Whatever you want to slice it, like they're wussified. You know what I mean? It's like we were buying stuff like Spawn, Savage Dragon, like like all these violent action things, and like language. Maybe some people are more picky about that, but it's fantasy. It's not real blood. Like kids can't. Dude, we were watching Looney Tunes. Come on. So yeah, but I honestly, man, I like the smoking. I like the cigar stuff that you had in that one image that I got, and he's got the gun, because you don't see smoking quite often in comics anymore, just because it's the bad guy smokes, you know.
Well,
But
they are technically vaping, but still.
tomato tomato. Yeah. No, this is good. I like this panel. So who did these? Who did these illustrations?
Well, that page you were on just
Yeah.
now was that was done by the original artist from issue 1,
Mhm.
Render Contender. He unfortunately my original team wasn't able to come back for issue 2. My the colorist had some scheduling issues, and the original artist just friggin' vanished.
Vanished. Oh, I hope he's
Like,
okay.
that's the thing. Nobody knows. Like,
Dude,
nobody's heard from him.
well, there was another cat. I don't know. I know you're on Luke's channel, and he's a friend of was a friend of Rotten Glory. He's one that vanished too. He was a big, he's streaming back in the day, and his channel was growing really well. And all of a sudden, he started he was going to go live, and it just kept there, and no one ever heard from him again. Like no one knows to this day. Like even his close friends, like that. Well, in this circle, no one knows.
Yeah.
So hopefully, everybody's okay.
It
Maybe
was
they
pretty much
just
the same thing.
yeah. So like I said, hopefully he's okay. Maybe he just couldn't do it anymore and just felt it was better to just drop out and like not have to worry about the headache of like, explanations, and or people being like, "Hey, it's okay, don't worry about it." Maybe he just wanted to dip out. But I mean, yeah, he's really good. I like it. That's some good artwork. I do like the colors though, and you said the colorist had scheduling conflicts, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
the new team
that
we've
happens.
got, who like that's like this image right here is our new team.
Yeah, I use this one for the background. I like it.
Yeah, this is being done by Juanito from Dwarves versus Lions,
Ooh, yeah, I like Juanito, dude.
and the colors are being done by this awesome artist from Brazil named Marcos Martin.
Okay, cool, man. I do like this image. Striking. It's I like the harsh shadows. It's very good, very good. And is this an image in the book, or is this like a splash page or a pinup
This like
advertisement?
I'm thinking like, like a lot of these pages are going to be just kind of extra art pages that
Okay.
are going to happen like
Yeah,
after the story.
cool. And then you got some character design sketches and stuff here. So who's this
Yeah,
cat?
I just decided to put that on
I
there
like it.
for
No, I like it.
fun just
No,
cuz
yeah.
I loved this character page in particular. This was one of the originals done by Render
Mm.
way back in the day. And that's the character Serpent, who is he's vital to the story. He's
Is
he's the one who basically kidnapped Cyrus at the end of issue 1 and
okay?
brought him on board the ship. And
Nice.
he's sort of the second in command on the ship. He's like the quartermaster, and he also functions as like the resident con man.
Okay. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, these are good sketches. I like them. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with keeping them up because it's like, hey, this is this character, and you can talk about him, and explain what his part in this whole thing here. And this is a what does that say?
Which one?
This right here,
Oh, that's Render.
render. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what that's. Yeah. And these are, like you said, these are probably going to be extras in the back of the book.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like them. No, I like these pages. They're really good. Uh, I think they do work well as like maybe an extra because they work as advertisements. I
Yeah.
like them. Yeah, this is
And
cool.
this is a poster that is
Ooh,
that's available on a couple of the perks. That was done by Jason Krager and Marcos.
nice.
Yeah, and that it depicts a scene from the book, but not it's not like a one for one, but
Right.
that's basic. There's a big old fight that happens toward the end.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, Krager's really good, dude. I like Krager. Yeah. This is like I said. See, like I got a little bit of the Western vibe, obviously, but yeah, I could see the pirate stuff too, and like a little bit of even like I know this isn't an influence. You may not know who I'm talking about. Like, got like Wetworks or something like that. The comic Wetworks. This kind of reminds me of Wetworks a little bit, of Wilson Protasio type book there, just because of the pose and stuff. Really, nothing else. But I still like it. It's sick stuff. Yeah. So the I know we talked about it briefly, but what's the synopsis for Outlaw Nights?
So essentially, I did a little bit of the background already, where I was talking about the time period. But in the midst of all the crazy chaos of the 31st century, our main character Cyrus Lawson is working as a member of the colony guard on a very small, out of the way, insignificant colony called Therese. And I think he's had a pretty tumultuous upbringing, so he just kind of wanted to get away from all the craziness. But unfortunately, right at the beginning of issue 1, that dream is ripped right from under him because the pirates of the ship Hazard invade his settlement looking for a special piece of data that's going to lead to a treasure that everybody's got their eyes on. And so push comes to shove, Cyrus confronts these pirates, he loses, and he is mysteriously kidnapped by them. And so issue 2 picks up where Cyrus is on board Hazard, and he's learning more about these pirates, and he does not like pirates in the slightest. But he's got to get over that pretty quickly if he wants to survive.
You got to work together sometimes, even if you don't like the other person, for survival. Yeah.
That's Cyrus right there in the uniform shirt.
I should have shared my whole screen. Oh, okay, cool.
And that's Serpent next to him.
Nice. Yeah, this is cool. Very nice. Yeah. Let's go in the middle. There we go.
Because that's the subtitle of this issue, Genesis of a Renegade, should give you an idea that, Cyrus is not going to remain anti-pirate forever.
Well, yeah, I mean, he kind of can't. Yeah, I like it. I do like the art, man. I like the artwork. I know you said some of it was from the first issue, but even the stuff from the you got even the new stuff. Like I really dig it, man. It's good stuff.
Oh yeah, part of the reason I chose Juanito to do the interiors was like I felt like his style is it's a little different from issue 1, but it kind of fit together.
It's not so drastic that it's off. You're not off put. You know what I mean? You're more like, oh, okay, this looks cool. Like, you know what I mean? You're not like, oh no, why? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I bought plenty of comics where I'm like, oh no, why? So yeah. But and what I do like also, like, you got Krager in the cover, and that looks sick. But even that to this, it's not a harsh transition. Like, it really isn't. It's smooth and it's relatable. Like it kind of flows with the style. So it's really good, the cohesiveness you have going on there. I like that. A lot of people, like, when they get a different artist on board, it's just because they have to, like, and I get it, but it's just such a stark change that sometimes people can be off put by it and not back, but this, there's no reason, you know what I mean? Like, if you really got if you got the first one, you really liked it, even you really like the artwork, it still works. So, it's still, the transition is still good. So the tiers here, once again, you're going to have to do some legwork because I can't see. So what do we got here? What's the featured tier? How much is it?
The featured tier is for $50. It is both issues plus the poster of that fight scene that I showed you a minute ago.
So this is like a catch-up tier then?
Yep.
Nice. And is the poster, because people ask, is it folded up or is it rolled? Like, what are you doing with the poster?
It's probably going to be rolled this time around. For the first campaign, I was able to do the posters flat, but it ended up being kind of a hassle price wise.
Mm-hmm.
And plus,
Okay.
I'm gonna be my fulfillment is gonna be handled by Critical Blast this
RJ,
time
nice.
around.
Yeah, RJ's good, dude. He knows what he's doing. Yeah, yeah. I've received a lot of stuff from RJ, and it's always impeccable. So yeah, that's good stuff. Nice. I like this. Yeah, and it's a good feature tier, man. It's you the shipping on it is what, like 10 to 15 somewhere in there.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's standard shipping rates at a good cost, and you get caught up. And you get a poster with it. Nice. I like it. It's like I said to me, and I do get hard times, but it's still as far as Comics Gate and indie comics go, it's a good it's affordable. It's affordable as far as like a catch up tier goes. And this is just the book, I'm assuming.
yep.
Yep, nice. So you get the book, nice like that. And what's this one?
That is the book plus the a poster of the cover.
Oh, ooh, nice. The poster of the cover. That's pretty cool. So you have two posters then.
Yep.
Nice.
I'm
Now,
trying to add more, but it's a matter of getting the funds together.
yeah, yeah, dude, the cost gets up there. Now, are there add-ons? Can you add everything on checkout, or is it like the tiers are the tiers?
Right now the tiers are just the tiers, but
Okay.
I only recently learned that you could do the thing about the add-ons,
Okay.
so I'm probably gonna add that on at some point.
Okay. Well, what I would suggest is leave it as is, probably, and then
Yeah.
like if it funds awesome next campaign, do add-ons. If hopefully this doesn't happen, but if it doesn't fund, like when you relaunch, then do the add-ons and attach them, because people do like to customize things. But I don't see a problem with what you have here anyway, because you can still get everything you need the
Yeah.
way you have it laid out. So and this cat here is which one?
Oh, that is just issue 2 and the fight poster.
Okay, cool, nice. And what's the price on this one?
30.
Ooh, oh man, that's not bad at all for you get a poster in the book. I like that. It's really affordable. All right.
And yeah, that's if you want to get both of the issues as just digital. That's
Oh,
for
nice. You have
35.
digital. Okay, nice. You have a digital tier, which helps with people overseas. Like that's the big getter for Australia, especially. Yeah, nice. And you get one answer. You said right.
Yep.
Ooh, look at that. Caught up for $35. That's not bad. And this one here.
That is issue 2 as both digital and physical.
Okay. See, and then
And that's if you want to get both issues physical.
and digital.
It's all pretty straightforward.
I just can't see it because the white blows out the letters, so I can't really read any of this.
Oh yeah, no worries.
My eyes are terrible. That's why I have the people do the rundown of their tiers here. And this
And
cat,
that's getting 2 issues of issue 2.
okay, so double up. Gotcha. Yeah, you can go in with a friend. Yeah, nice. See, to me, stuff like this is good for people in Australia or something like that. That way they can, or overseas. You get a friend in to go in on you, and you half the cost of your shipping. You know what I mean? And you can then get the books. Now, hockey. Are you going through hockey by chance for Australia, or are you just gonna have RJ do the whole kit and caboodle?
I was gonna have RJ,
Okay.
mess with it because
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
No,
managed I managed to do it myself the first time around somehow. I
Dude,
managed to do it, but
fulfillment is such a pain. Like I my mother helps me, but like it's a pain. We hate doing it, but like I'm sure just like you, once you see everybody getting their books, it makes it all the worthwhile when you see them like they open it or you see them posted on Twitter or even in a review of it. You're like, oh yeah, that was worth it. That was worth it. Yeah,
oh,
yeah, having RJ
definitely.
do it is definitely definitely smarter because it saves you a lot of hassle. And then what's this one here?
That is both issues plus the cover poster.
Nice. Yeah, I like that image right
And if you want 3 copies of issue 2.
there. Okay. Yeah, see, that's what's good. Like with add-ons, like you could like have issue 2 and then add on like issue 2 as well, and they can add on as many as they want. That way, you don't have to worry about like tacking on like it's smart to do this. It is that way people can just one click it, but it saves you the hassle for making extra tiers. To just like have that add-on on there, and also shortens the campaign a little, the tier campaign side of it. So now, and then this cat here.
And that is if you want both issues, but 2 copies of both issues.
Okay, nice. I like that. Like I said, if you live overseas and you want physical, it's a good thing to do. Get that, and you have your friend give you the other half of the shipping rate. Yeah.
And that's if you want 3 copies of both issues.
See what I'm saying? Yeah, the add-ons, people get just like, yeah.
And for the retail pack here, this is if you want, this will get you 10 copies of issue 2.
Nice. Okay, it's smart to have retail packs. It really is.
And then there's that's the retail for both issues. I wanted to do 10 copies of both, but for whatever reason, Indiegogo limits you to 10 items per perk. For whatever reason, I don't get that, but so you get 5 copies of issue 1, 5 copies of issue 2.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if there's a workaround with that, like in the description, like in the item tier itself, like 10 issue 1. You know what I mean? I don't know if there's a workaround for Indiegogo with that. It's something like I'd have to look into.
It's just very strange to me why they would set that limit.
I guess they don't want people overblowing stuff. I don't know. Yeah, I've never even heard of it before. Now, do you have stretch goals?
Right now, the main idea I've got for the stretch goal is that I've been talking with Selena Hernandez as well as 6 a.m. Comics about doing some chibi stickers.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And so my main idea is that I haven't set the exact number for the stretch goal yet, but if we hit the stretch goal, we're going to get those chibi stickers with pretty much every tier.
Okay. Yeah, with stretch goals, yeah, they get added on once you hit a certain number of them. Yeah. Yeah, everybody, just over a month, what, 32 days, 37 days? What was it?
I think we're at about 34.
Hockey, what does it say?
34 days left.
Thank you, Hockey. Yeah, everybody, 34 days left. It is obtainable. You can do this. Like, get the word out there, everybody. I know we don't have the massive audience on my channel that like a lot of the other guys like Bancroft or Shay or even 80s has, or Luke. But share this out. Maybe not the stream, but also share out the campaign. Post it on your Twitter. Get the word out there. This is a fun book. It's a escapism at its finest. The artwork is gorgeous. Cool cat. You know what I mean? You can't ask for anything better. Share it out. And I know it's hard times, but he's got a lot of options to choose from, and you can get caught up. There's even a digital tier, so you don't have to worry about the shipping in that regard. So, and if you did, then that's kind of weird. But yeah, everybody go share it out. You're doing the legwork, man. You're trying. Your head's to the grindstone here. So, it's a gorgeous looking book. It's fun. It's space adventure. To me, even if, and I know you said this isn't like a catalyst of it, but to me, even if you like Star Wars or Star Trek, it's got that mindset and that vibe to it too. So, you got even like a Han Solo Guardians of the Galaxy type, Peter Quill aspect to it. You got pirates. You got you got a lot in there. It's cool. And there's so much you could do and explore with this, because it's in space. There's no limit. So it's awesome. So everybody, link is in the description below. Link is pinned into the chat. Yeah, this was a lot of fun. Hockey, I know you're in at the tail end. I do appreciate you coming in and offering your help to help out with the chat. Thank you.
Good luck, good luck, Dan.
Well, you can stick around, Hockey, for a minute.
No.
Anything you want to add, Brian, before we kick the fires and light the tires and head on out of here? Or?
Well, I am Ben Brian Fusebox. You can follow me on Twitter at Knights Outlaw. You can also find me on Instagram at Outlaw Knights. You can find me on Facebook under my real name, Ben Fuselier, Fuselier. And you can find me on YouTube. I've got my channel known as Fusebox. And I've been doing a playthrough of Fallout New Vegas that I think everybody would enjoy. And thank you so much for having me on.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, and I do have your Twitter pinned as well, or linked into the description below, so everybody can click on that. Like I said, share this out. Share out Outlaw Nights. It looks like a very fun book. He's doing it. He's doing as hard as I think we can get it there. And if not, man, do it again. Don't.
Oh
fret. Yeah, without a doubt. Thank you once again, everybody, for watching. Hit the like, share, subscribe, whatever. Hail the chat, and we'll catch you all later.